What up, man? It's your boy Jay Hatch, Creative Space Podcast right here, Sound Collective NYC, episode 2. We got my brother in the building, singer, songwriter extraordinaire. Just moved back to the East Coast, so he's here with us today. Get up for my brother Rufus Black, y'all. All right, man, we got my brother Rufus Black in the building, singer, songwriter extraordinaire. Big energy since the moment we met. Yeah. Let everybody know how you got started in the game, man. What was your first introduction to, I guess, the songwriting space?
My first introduction was, just being a hungry kid, man. My uncle was a DJ. His name was DJ Wobble from the north side of Youngstown, Ohio. I grew up in the housing projects called Westlake Terrace. Okay. And he just had an abundance of records. And I would just listen to them records all day, you know what I'm saying? And I would just like really admire songwriting since I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So that's where it all began. It all began in the crib, you know what I mean?
Who were some of your early influences? Who would you look up to musically in general?
I looked up to, of course, Marvin Gaye, George Clinton, P-Funk All-Stars, The Barge, whom I ended up, being very close with Uncle Elder Barge. The way they wrote records, Michael Jackson, of course, Quincy Jones, Stevie Wonder, and all that. And then my uncle came back with some cassettes of the Cold Crush Brothers versus the Fantastic Five Romantics. And he played me the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 record, It's Nasty. And I was like, yo, this is what I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So that happened, you know?
One of the questions I asked one of our previous guests, Jordy, was, what do you feel like the role of the writer is in the creative equation? Obviously, we know you write songs, but like, what's the actual role of the songwriter? What do you feel yourself doing when you're in the studio or you're working with artists, aside from just writing the record?
Well, bear with me because I'm left-handed, so I'm a little weird. But I feel the songwriter is the integral spirit.
Okay.
Meaning the integrity of the songwriter is paramount, in which we have to embody the artist and become them. I don't really like working with people unless I get to know them. Okay. And to get to, labels have always been like, yo, send me a record for Monica, send me a record for Brandy, send me a record for this one, this, and that, and the third. And they give you this list and they tell you to do this and that and the third. And then you doing all of these records, you exerting all of this energy to get pass. And then I come from an era where all those passes eventually became a pick. But once I got in the presence of those artists and we got to rock and talk and have burgers together, fries or whatever I seen that they don't like, onions on it, all different type of stuff, and you get these conversations going, before you know it, it's like you don't miss from henceforth. Henceforth you don't miss.
Right.
So I feel like, we are to appreciate the artists and like actually embody them and become them, in which I call it the integral spirit. Okay. That's what
makes a lot of sense.
Consider a writer.
So very first session you ever had with an actual artist that was notable. Talk about the experience. Like, what was it like? Were you nervous? How did you break the ice? Like, how did you get your respect as the writer? Talk about that first experience. I think like new writers need to hear these things.
Yeah, it's
good
crazy.
Or bad?
No. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm in a different space where I look at things that people consider bad as good. Because everything is God's plan for me. But I worked with a man, a brother, a classic hip hop legend named Eric Sermon. Eric was, the first to have me in the studio with him.
Okay.
I was a kid. I left Ohio with a couple bucks in my name. Ended up performing at this club called The Phoenix. This guy named Drew Fotheringham, he discovered me. He was co-managing a group with Corey Smith, who handles Dave Chappelle now. Right. He was managing a group called Y'all So Stupid that was on Dallas Austin's Rowdy record label, Arista. So Dallas and Puff was rocking with Clive at the time. And he had this big studio named Dart Recording. So when I won, Dallas really liked me and they started inviting me to the studio, and Eric Sermon was in there working.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes had brought these kids out for Left Eye called Illegal at the time.
I remember.
So I went into the studio and I was freestyling. I freestyled for Rakim. And when Rakim told me I was dope, it was over. You couldn't tell me nothing from there.
Yeah, the art, forget about it.
Yeah, so Eric had me come in the studio with him and write with him. And when I was sitting in the studio with him, I just got the opportunity to watch him create.
Okay.
And I was starstruck. Whatever Eric would have told me to do, like, yo, go grab my speakers, go whatever, go pick up my crate, I would have did it because I was in the same room as one of my hip hop heroes. Me and my partner love EPMD. I would say I'm Eric and he would say he's Paris Schmidt. And now I'm in a room with Eric Sermon. And which just recently, me, Eric Rockwaller, Chanel Red came together.
Yeah.
You got Salt and Pepper back to the party. So it came back 20-something years later. That's crazy, right?
That's super
wow,
crazy.
Man.
So, obviously relationships have played a big part, in your career. What are some of the things that maybe you've taken away from people like Eric Sermon or a Rockwaller that you kind of live with and still have as part of your mantra, as you continue your career?
The humility, because when you say rock, you hit me because Rockwaller is something else. Me and Rock is on another level, but of brotherhood. But him, Terry Lewis, Jimmy Jam, Cheryl, which is Salt, Pep, all of these legends, Dougie Fresh, they taught me Faith Evans, humility. Angie Stone, humility. And it taught me I was embraced by Prince Charles Alexander, who was one of the top engineers in the world. And one of the things he taught me was a song is a conversation.
Okay.
Do you know how to have a conversation with a person? Tap into that person. And that starts with humility. We're all mirrors when you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? And being around all of those stars and all of those people I named that are legends, I noticed something about those people that God allowed me to encounter. They all had those same things.
Yeah.
Accountability. They were humble. They were just like I was looking up to them and I was realizing that looking up was actually looking eye to eye.
Right.
And that's what I wanted to become. And I want, with these new artists, how I embrace all these new young artists and young people, I want to give them what they gave me. Yeah. The people who poured into me, what I'm supposed to get from that is to pour into these new young artists and upcoming producers. So that's what I got from it.
Okay. Well, it's crazy because the first time we actually linked up, you had done one of my R&B playlists, Creator Cyphers, as our creator, celebrity creator. Obviously, we clicked automatically.
Yes, sir.
We have a similar spirit. But the one thing that really, I guess, I don't want to say the word impressed me, but really made me want to connect even more with you is the fact that you were just so open to working with that new creative. And when you were there, you were just saying, you were looking up and now you're looking eye to eye. I felt like you treated them with all respect.
Yes.
You appreciated the music. You were a fan automatically of a lot of different people.
Yeah.
As you grew in your career, what kept you motivated to continue maybe when people thought you weren't ready or, maybe they passed on some of those records or maybe they didn't respect where you come from in the game? How did you keep, just following your trajectory and staying motivated? Where'd you find the motivation from?
Music. I just felt like, I told Salt one time, I looked at her, I said, sis, I was like, she asked me that question, how do you keep because she was like, hun, I'm tired. So I was like, I'm tired, I need a break.
For some reason I could see her saying that vividly, yeah.
She was like, you never need a break. How? I was like, because without music, I would surely die. You take a goldfish out of the water and you put it on the table, that's me without music. That is exactly me. I cannot breathe. I can't do nothing. I need it. All my life, I just loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically it for me. I just love music. I won't ever stop. I'll be 90 writing records. I promise you.
So aside from, being a songwriter for other people, obviously you're an artist too. You've had a couple releases recently, one with the homie DJ Battle Cat, which is the big homie as well.
Yeah.
Talk about some of these experiences where maybe you're trying to either reinvent yourself or maybe just find a new pocket where you feel comfortable living in today's music climate. Did you feel like you had to kind of reinvent yourself a little bit as an artist?
Well, I've always focused on reinventing myself because Prince Charles taught me that and have to constantly evolve.
Yeah.
Michael, Madonna, Prince, all of them constantly evolve. But somewhere down the line, I got lost because, as you know, I'm also a minister who tries to help people who deal with alcoholism and drugs and stuff. And I got caught up in the industry life.
Yeah.
You know, all of us have, the women and everything and stuff like that. And I was lost. So you can have all of these abilities and all of these things and ways that you can reinvent yourself. You can be so keen in how to do all of that stuff, but still don't know who you are.
Right.
So you got all of these superpowers and all of these entities you create. I was like Muhammad Ali. I got all kind of names: Pretty Black, King Pretty, Black the Ripper, Willie Bread. I'm like Ali, and I was always doing all of this talking, and I was entertaining people, but I didn't know who I was. Okay. So who you get now is who God snatched me out. What I am now, I can't even take credit. Like I reinvented myself. Yeah. God snatched me out and just start bringing me to certain people. And one of them happened to be Battle Cat. And when Faith Evans connected me and Battle Cat, because me and Battle Cat had just did a record together on Mila J. It's a record produced by Stone Paxton, in which Matt Lyon pioneered. Okay. And you know, I did this talk box imitation on the hook, and Matt Lyon was like, I'm gonna get Battle Cat to do it. And so we were on a record without even being in the same room. Mm-hmm. And then eventually Faith hooked us up. And when we started talking, it was a conversation for an hour about the Lord, about God. So I was like, wow. So now this new reinvention of me comes from him. It was just like, come in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how that happened.
Need to be pulled out of the equation.
I got
to get back into it.
Yeah. But not for nothing though. Like for real, I was thinking like, yo, I'm not gonna do no more secular music. And God was like, I didn't say that. I didn't tell you that. Like, you know, do this and do that. Cause right in the midst of him transforming me, I got the Jhene Aiko on the way, PUSSY Ferry. And it was like, write this verse. I was like, yo, I wrote the verse on there. Yeah. And it's popping. And I was like, oh, it's a great record. Like, it's not nothing I would, you know, be putting in my car playing all out to my kids over and over. Nah, right. But, you know, we got wives and stuff, so them the type of records you can play when you shut the door, you know what I mean? But God told me, like, you know, you can still do your secular music, but it's just certain things that I hear him say no to and yes to. And sometimes he say no to people who do the same type of music I do, spiritual music. He be like, nah, I want you connected to that. Because just because you praise and worship don't mean you really actually got the keys to the kingdom, man. Yeah. So I learned that too. So it's some stuff with everything that I do. But I give all glory to God for everything, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, being able to have all these experiences and all these legendary moments in your life, and you know, as you look back and think about, you know, all the maybe challenges you were faced with, looking at today's new songwriter and where they're trying to go with their music, what do you think some of the common mistakes are or common creative approaches that maybe they should be concerned with?
Getting lost in the flow of everything else that's happening. My mother always said it takes a strong fish to swim upstream. And sometimes I sit kids down and I say, you know, all of these salmon going the same way in the slaughter. They're gonna be in your local grocery store, your local Pathmark, your local Walmart as fillets. But the strong ones that come the opposite way, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you gotta think that way. You gotta be the strong fish that swim upstream. And those artists are the ones that stay. Alicia Keys was one of those who didn't swim the same way as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? She's one of those generational artists. Like, I can name a few of them just off top. She was the one that sticks out to me because I remember around the time Alicia Keys came out. I remember, no disrespect, but I love my sister Olivia Longett. Love Olivia. Olivia's a magnificent voice. But everybody was rushing to the Waldorf Astoria when Clive was over there with J Records. They was rushing over there, doing meetings with Peter and Edge and Keith Neftali and Ron Giller, all those guys. They playing all these records to jump on this Olivia album. But they ain't know in the cut, it was this little girl on this piano on Team Summit just singing her life away. She didn't care if she was sharp and she didn't care if she was pitchy. Yeah. She just was talking about falling in and out of love with you. And dudes wasn't paying it no attention. She was swimming a different way. Yeah. That's why I love Alicia Keys, because she really was like, nah, this is what I'm doing right here. Yeah. She did it.
Fun
love it.
random fact. I used to be an artist myself many moons ago, and I was
I could tell.
I was managed by Vance Wright, Slick Rick's DJ. So there was an instance when we were in the studio, me and my partner Drawzilla, making some music, and a gentleman walked in who happened to be part of this management company, and he said, "Hey, I like what you guys are doing in here. Musically, everything sounds great. How would you feel about working with a new 13-year-old artist?" Helping her develop her sound. And at the time, we were so busy, it was egotistical, like, I'm focusing on me, I'm doing me. That 13-year-old girl was Alicia Keys. You know what I mean? So
you get it.
sometimes, I feel like you said earlier, I'm a strong believer in you make plans and God laughs at you. Like my mom says it all the time, so you live by that.
Yep.
So, you look back and you have to have that humility and realize that maybe that wasn't the right time for you. And maybe it was just a reminder that if you can continue in this path that you're on, these opportunities will arise even more often, and eventually you're gonna catch something and you're gonna be able to ride a wave. And the one thing that I really appreciated was you had came out to a listening session to one of my artists, Bianca, singer-songwriter. And just the time and the patience you had with her and explaining, certain melody runs and, just the way she attacked records. I really feel like new writers need to hear from people who have had these experiences in the game. You know what I'm saying? I know she appreciated. What do you get back from that? What do you feel the reciprocation is for you being so open and honest with some of these newer writers and artists?
Just the fact that they're receptive alone is a powerful testimony within itself.
Yeah.
That means that all of these years, what I've learned and what I've done didn't go in vain. Someone is actually listening to me, and I'm actually helping make a difference in someone of that magnitude's career, because what these kids a lot of times they can't see the magnitude of themselves, how great they are. And it's up to us who've been there before, who've encountered bad writers, good writers, great writers. There are layers.
Bad contracts, bad splits, all the above, right?
So we're supposed to have 20/20 vision when we're in the presence of greatness. We're supposed to be able to see it. And once you are able to see it, it's up to you to let them know. And then once you let them know, then you can see what type of people they are and how they receive what you say.
True, yeah.
And then you can determine, okay, I'm not telling them nothing more.
No more sauce for them.
Some of them is a little, I had a conversation with Omar, O2, actually, one of my closest friends for almost 30 years. And Omar said, accessibility is earned. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is true. So you watch who you pour into. But when you see them receive it and they humbly see it, like how some of them kids teared up at the song camp and stuff like that. And, some of them hugged me, and as well as brother Jordy, who is an amazing songwriter who I really highly respect. They embraced us, man, and they needed that. They needed that. So what we get from it is like, wow, God, you using us, we can help them with our experiences. Right. I mean, this is what it's about, though. Music is to be shared.
Absolutely.
It ain't to be held on to. Love isn't love until you've given it away.
I feel also too we get a chance to experience. We're privileged enough to experience all these things we go through in life, right?
That's the word.
So I've always felt even when I used to go to conferences when I was younger, just watching people up on these panels, and a lot of them just don't even enjoy what they do. It's they're sitting there, their body language, the way they're talking back to people. And I always felt like whenever I got a chance to be somebody who was able to influence, these new creatives, I wanted to make sure that I gave them or put them around people that were super positive, that always thought in being constructive as opposed to being just negative about the situation. To me, that was super important. And that's why people like yourself, Jordy, anybody I bring out to these panels and these events, there's got to be that kind of vibe there. 'Cause that's the only way we're gonna transfer this energy to these younger cats. And what do we always say about music? Music's in a bad space now, or so if we can help, why can't we help?
That's the part.
Yeah. So, I appreciate the gems. For you, again, we just had this cliquey relationship from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I feel like you are in a space now where you're ready to kind of almost embark on this new chapter. You just moved back from from the west to the east.
Yeah.
All your relationships are starting to vibe again. You just the Salt and Pepper record is crazy.
Yeah.
What else can people expect from you? In the next, I guess, calendar year or two. What do you want to really do, or what do you have planned?
Well, me and my queen, my wifey, Melanie Dickerson, we came together. We formed a record label called Silent Success Music, and we started off with, we have an artist named Ara the singer, and we have an artist named Zay Bando. Okay. Zay Bando just shot a video featuring Marky D from
R&B Playlist. Yeah.
R&B Playlist from.
Big shout to Marky D.
Yeah, and his manager Jay Kimball, shout out to him too. And so we've been building this label. We have some amazing people who are like some legendary people who are like getting in place to help us. Shout out to Stone Paxton in Las Vegas, because we're distributed through up a new digital distribution company I told you about, Brand Artists Coalition. It's for the artists, by the artists. We have the most territories that we cover, even more than United Masters, more than DistroKid and all of them. So we're trying to build our company, our brand for the artists, by the artists. But that, as well as, I'm still putting out records. And, my records give God the glory. They're positive, inspirational records. And I'm still writing for some of the best in the industry too. I'm still placing records, but my focus, rather than is not like it used to be contacting the labels. No. It seems in recent times. I can't. Yeah. Man. It seems now like the placements for people be like, OG, yo, OG, you get old when they call you OG and Mr. Black. But they like, yo, how you da-da-da-da with the placements and woo-wop? I'm like, look, man, to be honest with you, I can't even run it to you. If I run it to you, it's gonna be the 90s, early 2000s style. Because now the placements has been coming to me. This is not bragging, it's just what happens when you do what your mother told you and my mother told me. You laugh at our plans, let them take the wheels sometimes. Just, you keep working, because faith without works is dead. But here God just stepped, so that's what's to come for me, bro. From me, bro.
Yeah,
for real.
Just head down, blinders, and work. And be consistent at it too.
I like that, head down, blinders, and work. That's cold. That was cold.
So last bit of advice just for the up and coming creatives. Give them just a quick gem, and maybe something you stand by and live by. Give them a quick gem.
The quick gem that I say for all creatives is like, continue to write from your heart, from your soul, from your experiences. Don't try to be like anyone else. Stop allowing the radio to become your key to writing. The radio is the Antichrist to me.
I believe it. It
is played over and over. It is a program. When you're creative, radio should be a tool, not a God, not a guide. It's a tool to put your music out. But if you just listening to it's cool to listen to new artists. Like, I love listening to new artists. But if you need to listen to radio so much to the point where it overtakes you and you start sounding like other people, it's a problem.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people don't realize a lot of those records were made 2 and 3 years ago. So what happens, it's playing now, but we're looking for what's going on in 25, 26, 27, right? So if you're focusing on the now and you don't hit something right away, it's not going to work out for you. You know what I mean? So that's super dope. Where can they find you online? Where, if they want to reach out?
They can find me on Instagram at The Real Power of God, spelled exactly the way it is. X, formerly known as Twitter, at The Real Rufus Black, and Black is spelled B-L-A-Q. Facebook, Rufus Black or Rufus Moore. I have 2 pages on Facebook. I have a TikTok that is Pretty Black #6.
Well, I appreciate you coming out, my brother. Episode 2 in the books. Creative Space Podcast, Sound Collective NYC, Episode 2, coming out real soon. Stay tuned. What we do here, man, it's all about getting creative. It's all about getting insight behind the scenes. All about sharing these amazing experiences that these gentlemen have. Follow us along, man.
Hey, me and this man got history to make together, and y'all get to watch it front row.
Big facts.
Get your cameras.